Legal.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, there you go. You got a good one, a nice little decent show lined up. You know, we gonna get into the facts. We're gonna speak about the Diaspora wars, man. We're gonna speak about how this all came to be, how this got started. We're gonna get into all of it today, because a lot of times we don't understand what we participating in. But you are now rocking with the most wise Fleezus. This is Black Renaissance Podcast. And we got a great one lined up for that ass. We gonna speak about these Diaspora wars, how, you know what I'm saying, how it came to be, how it got so out of hand. And something that a lot of people just may not know, you know, about our history and how this drink got so just kind of like lost or whatever the case may be. You know, like where we dropped the ball at, man. You know what I'm saying? Like how did we get here? So we're gonna start with this article in the Guardian. There we go. All right, so we're gonna start with this article. Credit the article real quick, just because like I kind of wanted to, like, you know, show credit, give credit where it's due. I don't want to be taking nobody work and stuff, but for the most part I kind of read through it, paraphrased it and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, translated it, because it was a lot of it was a lot of I don't want to say, because it wasn't word salad. It was like a lot of kind of like trying to go over your head, and you know what I'm saying, like you know, a lot of explaining, a lot of white fragility. Let's put it like that. It was a lot of white fragility in the in the way that this was written. You know, they always want to make sure that that they kind of, like, you know, protect their people and all that. And I get it. I understand. You know, I know what it's hitting for. You feel me? Like, you gotta do what you gotta do to protect your people from whatever. From whatever backlash could come from, like, I guess, like, critically thinking, right? From critical race theory, from our people fully understanding what it is and what it ain't. You know, for our kids to understand that, you know, this country was built on some bogus nonsense. You feel me? For us to understand that the only way to make it out this situation is with Black unity. But these people, they sowed the seeds of distrust early in the game. They did that bright and early, you feel me? And the reason why they did that so early, the reason why they, you know, let's get into the article, man. Let's just get into the article. Because the reason why they did it so early in the 60s and made sure that not only was it COINTELPRO in America, right, but the Soviets and the United Kingdom government, they all got together to basically say, listen, all this us warring against each other, all this Cold War stuff is cool, but the civil rights war, you know what I'm saying, like the civil war for these black people and all that, we can't let them win by no means. You feel me? So yeah, we could be beefing and all that, but let's keep our eye on the real enemy, them black folks, because if they rise up, we all gonna be out of power. You feel me? So they try to keep you a little bit distracted by like, oh, you know what I'm saying, we warring with each other, we got problems, but meanwhile, all they spying, all they spy resources is being spent on black organizations in America and abroad. So this article right here kinda came about by accident. You see, God has a way of revealing things, and that's why I love spirituality, because with spirituality, God might come through and smack you in the face, you know what I'm saying? Smack you in the face with that mace. What's that mace? That Masonic smack, you know what I'm talking about? That's that Masonic smack right there. When you get smacked with a whiff of bad luck or a whiff of reality, or just something that just, that consumes you, that you can't get up out of so easily with money or whatever the case may be. Now America has a whole bunch of resources and this, that, and the third, but sometimes they get smacked by God. And in this situation, they got smacked by God because this author named, I believe his name is Rory Cormack or something like that, or Mr. Cormack, or let me get this. Yeah, Rory Cormack, right? Shout out to Rory from the JBP. But Rory Cormack, or whatever the case may be, he was actually researching for a book named How to Stage a Coup: 10 Other Lessons from the World of Spycraft, and he ends up coming across these documents, these hidden documents of the Information Research Department. Now, who is the Information Research Department? Let's get into that right there. Let's figure out who these people are. The secret British black propaganda campaign targeted Cold War enemies. Now, who is the Cold War enemies? They used to call our good Martin Luther King a communist, but why did they call him that, right? The same way that they use words like woke now. They always have these different words for black people, right? They cannot just say, oh, we're racist, oh, we're targeting these black guys because maybe black people feel like, if we're so inferior, why are you guys so focused on us? Why are you guys always looking at us? Why are you guys always spying on us? Why you spend so much money trying to be us, trying to steal from us, trying to do this, that, and the third, right? If y'all are so superior, we're supposed to be chasing after you guys. It looks like you guys are chasing after us. So what they do it in these spying ways and stuff like that. And they have taught these spycrafty ways to many other nationalities, which is why us as black people, if we want to get stronger, not only do we have to delineate, but we have to be secretive, we have to separate, we have to communicate, right, in these small fractions. Like, hey, listen, this right here gonna get 1,000, 2,000, maybe 3,000 views, right, if I'm super lucky, but I'm happy. Want to know why? Because this information is going to the right people. If I get it to 300, 400 of the right black people, guess what? This is more powerful than a video with 1 million views, because 1 million views going out to 1 million sheep means nothing. But if I get it to the right 300, oh, now we got a real revolution. You understand? That's why I don't get gassed and confused by the numbers. I do not let the numbers dictate who I am, because a lot of these times, what y'all are going to find out in the near future is that a lot of these YouTubers are COINTELPRO. A lot of these YouTubers are spies. A lot of these YouTubers are not who they say they are. This is why I am not afraid to hide my face. I can put my face on the screen, take it off the screen. You can see me in the streets, you can see me outside, whatever the case may be. I never ever come on this internet and promote violence. I never come on this internet and promote anything that is over the top, provocative, or harmful to our people, because I understand that me personally living in the ghetto, I'm going to be the first person to see the repercussions of my actions. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, by the time this video was done, I'm probably going to be able to see the fruits of my labor when I step outside of my door. That's how powerful my inspiration is, by enlightening people. And this piece right here will not be one of my more, funnier and kind of reaction pieces. This is a educational piece. This is what I do right here for my sanity and for my people. So now let's get back into it. Who is the Information Research Department? Now, you may not be familiar. There's another group that goes by the name now of the Internet Research Agency, IRA or something like that. That's the Russian fake news people that have a whole bunch of troll farms and stuff like that makes these pages that sow a lot of dissension and identity politics or whatever the case may be. So these tactics are still being deployed to this day. The only way that we could fight these information wars, as you can see, this was the Information Research Department, right? They have always been focused on delivering us fake information to confuse us. The black men and women are mostly the black men, but both of us as well. The black men and women are the recipients of the most lies and confusion. The black men and women are the recipients of the most lies and confusion. Once we could get to the truth, which is why Black Renaissance Podcast is only brand line is the truth. Even if it's to my own detriment, because I know how powerful the truth is and what people can do with the truth. The truth can clear the fog, but lies keep it going. But anyway, let's get back into it, right? So I just want y'all to understand that these people are so focused on information. Britain stirred up tensions and chaos and violence in Africa, and the Middle East, and Asia, according to declassified papers. The British government ran a secret black propaganda campaign for decades. The British ran a secret black propaganda campaign for decades, targeting Africa and the Middle East and parts of Asia with leaflets, reports from fake sources aimed at destabilizing Cold War enemies by encouraging racial tensions, sowing chaos, inciting violence, and reinforcing anti-communist ideas, newly declassified documents have revealed. The effort, run from the mid-1950s to the late 70s by a unit London that was in part of the Foreign Office, was focused on Cold War enemies such as Soviet Union and China, left-wing liberation groups, and leaders that the UK saw as threats of interest. The campaign also sought to mobilize Muslims against Moscow, promoting greater religious conservatism. To appear authentic documents encouraged hatred of Israel. See how they like to throw that little extra part into appear authentic? No, let's be real. You guys taught the Muslims to hate our Hasidic friends. You guys. It was the state. Don't try to say to appear authentic, because the whole fucking thing is disauthentic. What you need to appear authentic for? If you're going to try to, if you're going to be propaganda, be propaganda. But this was the propaganda. You understand? Because a lot of these things, a lot of the ways that you think comes from high up. Don't think that some fucking knucklehead on the corner thought of this shit. It comes from high up. We all pawns in this motherfucker. But let me liberate your mind and get you back on the correct time, because right now you're an hour behind. You understand me? Let's go. So, the British government targeted American civil rights leader Stokely Carmichael and sought to weaken the Black Power movement with covert disinformation campaigns. Recently declassified documents have revealed. The effort was the work of secret unit known as the Information Research Department. Hold on, sound check, guys. Sorry, you know I gotta do my sound checks. All right, bet. There we go. Sound check is good. You know what I'm saying? Sound check is on the clear. Just had to make sure. So anyway, the effort was a work of a secret unit known as the Information Research Department, based in London, and in part Foreign Office, which created to distribute literature from fake sources as part of a broader effort to destabilize Cold War enemies. Though focused primarily on the Soviet Union and China, whatever, all that bullshit, left-wing liberation groups and leaders of the UK saw as threats of its interests, and discoveries revealed that the Information Research Department from the late 1960s sought to counter more diverse targets too. Now, when you see, diverse targets, that just means black. They sought to counter black targets. Not you see how they like to mask their words. I'm telling you, when you read these papers, when you read these articles, you got to know what you're reading. See, a lot of people think because they can read, they know how to read words, they know how to read. Nah, you got to understand what you're reading. You got to know definitions. You got to really get up in there. You got to really get up in there. The devil lives in the details, baby. And they know that. They know that you're not going to ask the question, what's this word? What's that word? You're just going to skim through it, read through it, and then you're going to think you understand it, but you're going to get one message out of it, but that's going to be the completely wrong message. That's what propaganda is for. That's why Black Renaissance Podcast is here. Turn my people into Renaissance men. Renaissance ladies. Multitasking, economically free, with cash to do what they need to do. We don't just preach activism over here. We don't just preach economics and financial freedom over here. And we don't just preach, ratchet and gangster behavior. We mix it all around, pass it around. And what we call that? We call that motherfucking black culture. Yeah. Anyway, we can see a large-scale attempt to shape events overseas, but one that was moving away from communism and targeting whole new areas. This shows the breadth and scope and the scale of British covert information operations, said Rory Comack. This is the writer of the book, an expert in the history of subversion and intelligence, who found the material when researching his recent book, How to Stage a Coup and 10 Other Lessons from the World of Secret Book. The effort against Carmichael, a firebrand orator, basically like a lit speech making guy, I guess that's what it means. Firebrand orator who traveled to West Africa in part to escape harassment by U.S. law enforcement agencies, aimed to portray the prominent black power leader as a foreign interloper in Africa who was contemptuous to the inhabitants of the continent. So now, what does that mean? Aimed to portray the prominent black power leader as a foreign interloper in Africa who was contemptuous of the inhabitants of the continent. So now we're gonna Google what interloper means, right? We ain't gonna let them get away with this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna Google what interloper means. A person who becomes involved or in a place or situation where they are not wanted or considered to belong. Okay, so basically he didn't belong there. And contemptuous, I guess that's contempt or whatever, but let's be on the safe side, right? Let's see what it means. Okay, contemptuous, showing contempt, scornful. All right, so in other words, they aim to portray the black power leader as an unwanted foreign guest in Africa who had contempt for our African brothers in the diaspora or in the continent of Africa. That's, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta, you feel me? But that's how you do it. When y'all reading these articles and stuff like that, you come across a word you don't understand or you're just not even 200 or 100% sure about. Do not rely on context clues. You go to Google, type in that definition. 1 minute will save you a shit ton of fucking confusion down the line. Trust me. Do that with contracts, do that with everything. We need to battle these people on an intellectual level. This is a culture war. It's not a game. Don't let them tell you can't smoke and do it all. Nah, listen, you just gotta get focused, man. You gonna smoke, gonna get high, whatever. Just stay focused. Keep the eye on the ball and keep your money, you know what I'm saying, in black businesses. Straight like that. I ain't here to tell you not to have no fun and all that. because this shit go way deeper than fun. These niggas got whole motherfucking covert operations to knock us off our A game and all that. We just got to be aware of these covert operations and keep sticking together. When we stick together, it gets so much more done. And this is why I wanted to expose the beginnings of this diaspora war. So maybe piece by piece, some of our African brothers and sisters, you know, even those tethers, even you know, the raccoons or whatever the case may be, they could look at this and say, yo, wow, you know what, man? You know what? This shit is really bigger than us, man. They tricked us. They tricked my mom. You gotta show this to your parents. Yo, mom, look, you know this. Remember that book that you read over there in Africa that said that, you know, Americans was this? Well, guess what? That came from the UK government. That wasn't even a real African who wrote that, or whatever the case may be. These are real things right here, man. This has been a global effort for the last 50 years. But those classified documents are coming out. And all these things that we had already suspected are true. A lot of times, oh yeah, see, all that conspiracy theorist stuff is starting to go, you don't hear it as much. 20 years ago, you heard it, oh, because all you conspiracy theorists. Now it ain't too much, because a lot of them times, we're finding the evidence, we're finding the documents that justify our beliefs, in which there was never beliefs, they was just, you know, they was just theories and stuff like that. Those conspiracy theories, they was just statements that maybe had lacked publicly made physical evidence or whatever the case may be. So a lot of people, they have these sources, they get their information, but you know, you can't leak that, and you know, there's a lot that plays into. So I say that to say this, that these things don't be conspiracies, man. These things be real. And I want y'all to understand that this diaspora war was a government plan that took years to go into full effect, but now it's here. And then you have you know, the Internet Research Agency, you know, pouring gasoline on it every day with its troll farms and stuff like that. We have to be aware of the game, man. I know the Africans, I know y'all late to the party, but y'all gotta speed up. Y'all gotta get on game, man. Y'all looking game goofy out here, man. Letting these fucking UK covert people mess with y'all minds and go against y'all real black brothers and all that, man. Go against, you know what I'm saying? Now you gotta call y'all tethers and all this shit. Shouldn't have to go this far, man. Shouldn't have to go this far. But anyway, based mainly in Guinea from July 1969, Stokey Carmichael, a 28-year-old activist, had become a vocal advocate of socialist, Pan-Africanist ideologies, which worried British officials. The documents show that the IRD created a fake West African organization called the Black Power, Africa's Heritage Group, which produced a pamphlet called Carmichael, an unbidden prophet from America who had no place on the continent. Enough is enough. Why Stokely must go and do his thing elsewhere, read the pamphlet. Alleging Carmichael was weaving a bloody trail of chaos in the name of Pan-Africanism and was controlled by Kwame Nkrumah, the independence leader and former president of Ghana, who had been deposed in the coup in 1966. The IRD's effort did not attack Carmichael or whatever. Instead, the unit sought to portray the target as a traitor to other Black Power activists, with the patronizing attitude towards African people, which basically means, like, you know, he was helping, but, like, you know, with like a feeling of superiority. He was trying to, you know what I'm saying? He's basically kind of like, you know, helping and being like bourgeois kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, here goes $2, but don't touch me type of vibe. Pause. By coming to Africa, Carmichael had, and then they also said in the pamphlet and stuff like that. By coming to Africa, Carmichael had deserted the cause in the U.S., which needs him more than we do. Okay, shout out to Africa telling the nigga don't flee. they was bent on they Tariq Nasheed shit. Like, yo, don't flee. Why you flee? Go back to your homeland. They told Stokey Carmichael, go back to your homeland. So listen, see, I better not say nothing when we say that shit now, for real. But by coming to Africa, Carmichael had deserted the cause in the U.S., which needs him more than we do, and had been arrogant in preaching black power to a continent where it already truly be They need him more than we do, and has been preaching whatever. The pamphlet said it also claimed Carmichael was a burning zealot who seemed to imagine Africans as savages and compared him unfavorably to other radical activists who had recently arrived on the continent from the U.S., such as Eldridge Cleaver, an early leader of the Black Panthers who was living in Algeria. So I'm guessing they wasn't really fucking with Eldridge when he was in Algeria. Or maybe they was, I don't know, I gotta research that. But we are capable of formulating our own plans, said the pamphlet, for our part of the struggle for equal rights and freedom for black men everywhere. We are not launching black power. It will be our own African power and not the African American brainchild Stokely is trying to impose on us, the fake statement said. The smear operation against Carmichael received enthusiastic endorsement from officials within the Information Research Department and elsewhere in the British government, including the Foreign Office, West African Department. It came amid rising concern in Whitehall about the Black Power movement elsewhere in the world too. The Information Research Department was particularly worried by the movement's potential influence in the Caribbean. In February 1969, the Information Research Department learned of a Black Power conference to be held in Bermuda the following August and decided that rather than ban the event, it should attempt to discredit it. British intelligence services were asked for information on black power leaders and any evidence of Soviet, Cuban, or Guyanese links to the movement. This was only available from U.S. intelligence services that had begun investigating links between black radicalism in the Caribbean and advocates of black power in the U.S. from around 1968. So, in other words, they was on them. They knew that that whole black liberation, civil rights stuff was gonna start to protrude through the Caribbean, through Africa. It was gonna start to get bigger, and our family abroad, our diaspora family and stuff like that was going to not be with it. And instead of that American influence going around the diaspora, what the United Kingdom did, while they was losing a lot of power on the world stage, they was gaining favor with America by showing America, listen, man, all that old, we're gonna abandon slavery before America. Nah, we on call. We understand why y'all racist over there. We're gonna get on the white supremacist code. We're gonna make sure that we distribute as much fake information and fake booklets and create these and fund these fake mind you, these are black organizations, right? A lot of these people that wrote these pamphlets and stuff like that, it was not white people. These was African people writing these pamphlets, saying these things. These was, you know what I'm saying? And that's how that sentiment was picked up by the community, because even though it was the United Kingdom government behind everything, right? It was the Information Research Department, that was getting, millions upon millions of dollars and funds from the United Kingdom government, and then they was giving it to some African, some people in New Guinea, whatever the case may be, to go against this movement and make it seem real, just to make sure that, our people don't unite, and it's so unfortunate, because now we see the long-lasting effect of what this did. Those pamphlets and stuff like that are the reason that terms like Akata was created. You know what I'm trying to say? Those pamphlets and stuff like that are the reason terms like Yankee was created and stuff like that. Because, these people truly believe, and unfortunately, Jamaicans and Africans are not the smartest in the bunch. They don't come from these high educational places where they have discernment, where they have critical thinking skills, where they could see, where they could read through perspective and stuff like that, right? When you're dealing with low-level thinkers and stuff like that, and I don't say that to be detrimental, I don't say that to be disrespectful, I say that to be honest, because unfortunately a lot of our people in the diaspora cannot see through these little small plays. They're still game goofy to this day. You feel me? Some of them really do believe that white supremacy is the best thing for them. And unfortunately in 10-15 years they will see that it is not. You understand? It's It's like one of those, when you get into a relationship with an abusive guy, you know, at first he start out by giving you all the nice gifts and stuff like that. You know, he take you all the nice places, all smiles, and oh my God, he's so nice. And won't he wow you? You know, it's that one time 6 months down the line that you're really in love, they smack the shit out you, like, oh my God. You're like, oh, you know, maybe I made him mad. I'm sorry, I made him mad. It's okay. He's not bad. I made him mad. And he's not bad. I made him mad. And then a year later, he whipping your ass, and you can't go outside, and you can't eat, and you ain't got no friends, and now you're stuck in the house, and you got 55 black eyes, and you on the brink of death, and you scared to say anything. If you don't make the nigga sandwich the proper way with 2 motherfucking cheeses and half a slice of a bologna, nigga, he gonna whip that ass into tomorrow, whatever the case ain't be. And I don't say that to be funny, and I don't say that to be triggering. I say that to say this, that is how our brothers in the diaspora was treated and will be treated until they unite with foundational black Americans. You feel me? Don't let what they started back in the 1960s and all that, you know, with all these disinformation campaigns, don't let that be your undoing. February 1969, IRD learned of Black Power Conference to be held in Bermuda the following August and decided that rather than banning the event, it should attempt to discredit it. British intelligence services were asked for disinformation on Black Power leaders and any evidence of Soviet, Cuban, or Guyanese links to the movement. This was only available from U.S. intelligence services that had begun investigating links between Black radicalism in the Caribbean and advocates of Black Power in the U.S. from around 1968. So now in late 1968 or whatever, America really get on it, like, oh, we got to get on this new world train of civil rights leaders. You know what I'm saying? Because we got these Black Panthers, we got these old snick people, these old civil rights people trying to go around the world and get these Black Americans, these foundational Black Americans, worldwide sympathy, worldwide help and you know, access to resources and other things that could have helped us, you know, maybe financially or whatever, maybe diplomatic immunity, all these other things that could have happened. And they said, no, we cannot let these people get any form of power. We cannot let these people get any form of connections and stuff like that. And which is why to this day, there is no you know, African country. Some people say, oh, Africa's not one place. It's 52 countries in Africa. Out of those 52 countries, ain't one place that opens Black Americans with open arms. You know, except that I think that Ghana right to a bold crap or whatever that people talk about every now and then. You feel me? But when they come up here, we open up. Oh, hey, brother, oh my God, you're from the motherland, dashikis. We gotta get off that, man. We gotta get off that. If they want to believe this bullshit from 1968 that they've been pushing and all that we've been trying to, you know, take over Africa and all this other stuff that they want to believe, then we're gonna have to fall back. But otherwise, this is the root cause of the diaspora war. So don't say that FBA made it this way. Don't say that we are this or that or whatever the case is. No. I want y'all to do y'all research now and go hard on the UK government the same way I try to go hard on everybody else. Because y'all been putting out fake information to try to, you know what I mean, get y'all to go against our people. To get people in Africa to go against Black Americans and stuff like this. This was the government that literally did these things. But I know you're not gonna try to, you know, say, oh my God, you know, you know, or I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. But anyway, the IRD then prepared a series of articles for distribution to newspapers in the Caribbean and elsewhere that these accused the Black Power movement of being exploited by Havana and claimed the forthcoming conference would ruin Bermuda economically. Look at that. What that sound like? That sound like stuff that goes on right now. Oh, you're gonna ruin us economically, this and the third, whatever the case may be. You know, this is what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we really gotta understand that this been taking place. This is not and this is not COINTELPRO neither. This is a whole nother country with the same exact COINTELPRO type of operation that's meant to destabilize Black liberation groups, specifically Stokey Carmichael. The IRD also prepared to distribute an article about Black power leaders targeting Trinidad. This suggested that communists were behind Black power aspirations on the island, and that outside powers operated with the collusion of ambitious locals seeking their own ends. Like, this is insane. Everything was communist. They blamed everything on, you know what I'm saying, on you being a communist or this and the third, whatever. And this is what you gotta watch out for, you know what I'm saying? Like, them acting like you're a part of some whole other cause that you got nothing to do with, just so they could demonize you in the press. Instead of them just saying that we don't like you because you're, you know what I'm saying, because of the color of your skin. That's what it really is. It's always something else with this country. It's always something else with these white supremacists. They always act like it's just not about us being black. Period. Some tactics in Bermuda were rejected for fear of stoking racial tensions. Local officials in the Caribbean were not supportive of the campaign. There were limits to what the IRD was prepared to do in the Caribbean, and the concern was that racial tension would lead to riots, disruption of tourism, and a wider economic. In general, the IRD was happy to insinuate something without evidence, but not with outright lying. Now, this right here is a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, it's a little white explaining, you know, to make sure that they don't totally demonize their people, you know what I'm saying? All the rest of this right here is just them trying to probably, like, you know what I'm saying, make it seem a little more, you know, extra, whatever the case may be. But more or less, you know, the KGB did it. You know, they speak on Louis Armstrong being a spy or whatever the case be. I don't know what the fuck that's about. I'll get into that a little bit later. But you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, in 1969, the IRD created a new fake group, the Organization of African Students for African Power. This was supposed to be based in East Germany and adopted contemporary, radical, new left ideas, proclaiming a plague of both the capitalist and the Soviet bloc. And this is what we be talking about when we talk about these liberals, these democratic shields, these you know, these people that's taking money, these agents that's taking money from these liberal causes, and they make it seem like they're so progressive and they're so nice, but in all honesty, they're just COINTELPRO. They're just government-run organizations meant to destabilize the black community, keep us, you know, fighting amongst each other, whatever the case may be, never really making no real goals or whatever. And on top of that, they just push for a whole bunch of policies that benefit everyone else but us, you know, but while their pockets is getting fatter or whatever, their individual pockets is getting fatter. You feel me? We gotta watch out for all this, man. So with that being said, man, you know, with that being said right there, I want y'all to understand, man. This war goes deeper than us, man. This shit really gets deep out here. Like, it ain't just about, you know, what one person's doing. We gotta unify this. And listen, I'm all for delineating. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my words to be all misconstrued. Like I'm trying to, you feel me? I'm all for delineation and all that. Don't get it twisted. But at the same notion, we do have to plant the seeds of unity as well. We do have to help our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are tethers, who are game goofy, to understand, like, yo, listen, this is what it is. This is where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you don't want to take this, right here, if you don't want to take this game, whatever, you don't want to take this knowledge and redirect your energy from FBA to the real UK that you're supposed to be having that smoke for, whatever the case may be, then guess what? When I get back on this motherfucking mic later on and I gotta flame that tether ass, I ain't gonna have no motherfucking remorse, because I didn't, you feel me? I didn't cut you the sympathy. I didn't gave you the olive branch. I didn't gave you the STOKEY. I didn't gave you the comic books that you didn't support. I didn't gave you to you all. But guess what? You still wanna be on that raccoon train. But nevertheless, it's still my job to teach, even if I just wasted 40 minutes speaking to no one. With that being said, 40 to the family. FBA all motherfucking day. Be one forever. And make sure no matter what you do, the first